when you're an actor and you have the face of the xenomorph and the mouth is like snapping at your face, you don't have to fake it much. It's truly terrifying. I think it was just after I finished Don't Breathe, my second film. I was lucky enough to be invited at Ridley Scott's company, and they were starting to do Covenant, and I think I just told them, as a fan, I would love to see a movie, an alien movie where this happened with this sort of characters and this and this and that. And it was basically my vision for an alien movie. And at the time, obviously, they were doing something else, so we weren't going to do that. And then with a few years later, like just the studio found out about that story, and they called me. I was like, "Is it true that you went to Ridley Scott company, you pitched him an alien movie?" I was like, "Well, I didn't pitch. I just told them what I would like to see." And they told me, what is that? And I told them the story of what I thought could be a great alien movie. And they loved it, and was like, "Would you like to write and direct it?" And I said yes, and here we are.
There's something in the water.
What do you mean there's something in the water?
I don't know, there's just something in the fucking water.
The story I was telling this morning was that at some point early on, when I started to really think about how am I going to tell this story, particularly in the beginning of bringing the xenomorph into the story. So naturally, because of that, you're trying to think, oh, well, people have seen this already, so how can we make it different? And you start changing things. And I remember in the middle of the process of kind of trying to reinvent some of the things, some of my friends, cinephile friends, they told me like, well, why would you do that? Why would you change something that is perfect? What are you doing? And I remember they woke me up to that reality. That the truth is that there's certain things that are just perfect and they don't need any changes and don't need any improvement. Which doesn't mean you cannot add more things. And we do have, believe me, plenty of new things in the movie you haven't seen. But at least when it comes to certain aspect of the life cycle of the xenomorph and how it looks and the face huggers and all that, I was like, that's a perfect idea. And in a way, sometimes we want to go back to the beginning. But what's good, different in film is that it's different filmmakers approaching it, particularly Alien, which is 100% a filmmaker franchise. There's many franchises that you see that they present them to the world and no one knows who directed them, and they don't even care about telling people who made it because the franchise is so much bigger. So it doesn't matter. But Alien's always been the exception where the filmmaker matters and every filmmaker bring their vision to it.
Welcome to the Romulus space station.
I knew that because of that, you need to always add something. But again, I think you can do both. You can create your own things, bring your own ideas, but leave the great ones untouched, right? Like classics, I think, play them straight, and that's what I want to do. A little bit I was talking about the original Alien, like come out and how some people really liked it, a lot of people hated it, dismissed it, whatever it was. But now, 10 years later, there's, every week someone will text me some tattoo they got on their body about the movie. Actually, a few months ago, while I was making this movie, I saw one that someone got in his whole chest tattoo, the last frame of the film, and it reminded me, and those movies have a message or something that truly connects with us at a human level, that guy that got his tattoo in his chest, there might have been something in the movie that truly spoke to him at that time. Also, that guy's probably 25 now, so that means he was 14, when he saw it, right? Or even sometimes they're 20, and they think they were 10 when they saw that movie. They clearly made an impact. So I try to think more and more movies, not about now and this year, what people want to see in 2024. I'm thinking more, in decades, and more time stretching in my mind and just thinking how this lives for another 10 years. And above all things, really also never losing the playful aspect of movies, that I know that this movie will be seen by 12 years old. They're not supposed to, but they will. Just like we watched the original movies, those movies that we loved when we were 12 years old, most likely, and that's why they make an impact. So, and those kids, they will be exposed to all these things that they never saw before, and God, it will make an impact if done well. But I have to indulge in giving them those things and understanding that if I just make it for the intellectual 45 cinephile, I would betray that kid, and that kid, it will mean a lot more for that kid than it will mean for us, that we already had our version of that. So that's the balance, and that's the balance I did with Evil Dead. I made it for both. I made it for the skeptical fan that didn't want it, and I made it for the young kids that had never seen it, and that I think is the same thing that I try to apply here to make sure you can do it for both sides, right, without neglecting the other side.
Run.
In all honesty, I don't do the practical effects and I don't avoid green screens all the time just for the sake of the movie or the viewer. I make it because it's, for me, I want to be in a place that is real, right? Like, I didn't get into making movies to go shoot a green screen, or like when the creature comes, shoot an empty hallway that, well, there's supposed to be a creature there. Everybody pretend there's a creature there. And then someone else in some other country will have the privilege to put that creature together and send it to me, and I missed it. You know, I want to be there in the room. When you're a filmmaker, you obsess over objects, you obsess over elements, and you want to film them, and you want to, or you see something, and you want to pass your vision. What are you seeing to everybody else? It's like, you know, do you see that looks like this, or that can make you believe that this is that, and you go, you shoot it, and then you show it to the world, and you pass that dream you had. You just materialize it, but you obsess over real things. No one obsesses over a green screen. Then what happens with all that technology is that people are just thinking about the final product, and that's all that matters, and the experience of making doesn't really matter. And sometimes the actors don't even know what they're looking at or what they actually are supposed to be doing, and they stand in front of a green screen, and someone will put it together, and it takes all the joy out of making movies. And for me, I've still the same approach. I have to see something. I have to be there. So I make these movies as a kind of a playground. It's almost like a theme park where the creatures are there, the sets are real. And the more I can do that, the more I do a better job, because I'm excited. I'm seeing the creature. I know how to shoot it.
Oh my God. Annie, open the door. Annie, open the door.
What are you doing?
Look at me,
Open the door.
Look at me. It's all right. I'm going to get you out. Don't look over there.
I need you to open that door right now. Come on, open the door.
Not only that, the actor doesn't have to pretend that he's scared. These animatronics are dangerous. If you flip the wrong switch, they will rip your head off. They're strong creatures, right? I mean, we do everything with a lot of safety, and we have the best guys in the work. But when you're an actor and you have the face of the xenomorph and the mouth is like snapping at your face, you don't have to fake it much. It's truly terrifying. So it makes the whole thing way better. So, and again, all the fear for me has to work almost like a theater play. I have to see it, and it has to work by just looking at it, and the actors have to feel it. If that works, then the music, then the sound, then you add all on top of that, it makes it much better. But it has to work in the moment. I never do something that, well, it makes no sense now because there's no monster and there's a green screen, but it will make sense eventually. It's just boring. And that's why I'm saying I don't do it just for the final product. I do it because that's what I need to do to go to work and film. Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Konbini!